10 years sounds like a long time when you say it out loud. But think back 10 years ago. Feels like yesterday, doesn't it? The years have a way of slipping by one after another. Quiet and steady, and the truth is, whether you plan for them or not, those 10 years are gonna pass. The question is when they do. What will you have to show for them? I've met so many people who live year after year. And repeat every January looks just like the last one. Same job, same income. Same HABITS, same FRUSTRATONS. And then I've met others who decide on a vision. One clear, steady picture of what they want their life to look like. And they begin building toward it. When you meet them again 10 years later, you can hardly recognize them. They've changed not just in RESULTS, but in depth, in character, in wisdom, and it all came from holding one vision and staying with it. The trouble is most people underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade, and they overestimate what they can accomplish in a week. They get impatient. They want everything now. But transformation is not an overnight event. It's the harvest of years. Mr. SCHOFILD told me years ago that success is just steady progress. In reasonable time, not frantic progress. Not miracles. Steady progress. And when you give steady progress 10 years, it looks like a miracle. It all starts with vision. Without a vision, the years will still pass. But they'll pass in CRCLES. You'll find yourself busy but not moving. Tired but not fulfilled. Always working but never really building. That's why a clear vision is worth more than intensity. Because intensity, FADES, but vision, if you hold it steady, guides you through every season. So today I want to share an idea with you. One vision, 10 years. Total transformation. Not just change in one area of life, but transformation across the board. Transformation in your health, in your RELATONSHIPS, in your FINANCES, in your mindset, in your character. That kind of transformation doesn't come from scattered effort or CHASING DISTRACTONS. It comes from vision, and it comes from time. And if you give one clear vision 10 years, it will give you back a life you may not even recognize. And don't think 10 years is too long. 10 years will come whether you plan for them or not. 10 years from now, you'll arrive somewhere, either by design or by default. You'll either look back and see a masterpiece you built day by day, or you'll look back and see a decade that slipped through your fingers. That's the choice, that's the challenge, and that's the opportunity. Vision is where it all begins. Without vision, a person drifts. TOSSED, from one distraction to the next. SETTLNG for whatever shows up, instead of building what could be. Vision is like a compass in the wilderness. IT doesn't remove the OBSTACLES. It doesn't flatten the hills, but it points you in the right direction. So every step you take has meaning. When you live without vision, you live by default. You wake up, go through the motions, and repeat the same cycle year after year. But when you live with vision, you live by design. Every day may not look extraordinary, but each day is building TOWRDS, something greater. It's the difference between spending your life, REACTING, and investing your life, CRETING. Mr. SCHOEFF would always say that the most valuable thing you can give yourself is a picture of the future. He said, don't just think about tomorrow. Think about what the next 10 years could look like if you made the right choices. At first that seemed like such a long time. 10 years, but the older you get, the more you realize 10 years comes fast. The question is, will you arrive somewhere by accident or on purpose? Vision has a way of holding you steady. When DISTRACTONS and DIFFICULTES come, think about it when you know where you're going. The little INCUNV and INCES along the way don't feel as overwhelming. A rough day at work, an unexpected setback. A delay there, frustrating, yes. But they don't knock you off course. Because you know the course. But without vision, those same INCUNV and INCES can feel like the end of the world. Because you have no greater context. I've met people who had no vision for their future. And so every setback became a crisis. A flat tire, RUINS, their week. A bad conversation, RUINS, their month. And a missed opportunity, RUINS, their year. Why? Because without vision, every obstacle is the whole story. But with vision, every obstacle is just a chapter. You remind yourself this is temporary. This is part of the journey. And I'm going somewhere beyond this. Think about the difference between two builders. One is LAYINGBRICKS without a plan. He stacks one, then another after a while. He looks up and sees a pile of BRICKS. But he doesn't know what he's building. The other builder has a blueprint in his hand. He's LAYING the same bricks, working the same hours, but when he looks up, he sees a wall, then a room, then eventually a house, same effort. Completely different result because one had a vision. That's what vision does. It gives meaning to effort. It turns ordinary days into purposeful days. It turns frustration into patience. Because you know why you're enduring the process. It turns sacrifice into investment. Because you know what you're building. Without vision, sacrifice feels like loss. With vision, sacrifice feels like progress. And here's the truth. Vision doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a perfect picture, with every detail mapped out. All it has to do is give you direction. If you can see who you want to become, if you can see the life you want to build even in broad strokes, that's enough to start over time. The picture sharpens as you keep moving. Vision is the seed, it's where transformation begins. But vision alone won't change your life. It's the beginning, not the end. And that's why we have to talk about time. Because vision without time is just a dream. But when you give your vision 10 years, 10 years of effort, patience, and discipline, that's when total transformation becomes possible. A 10-year window changes how you think about growth. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10. A single year feels urgent. People want immediate RETURNS. Visible progress quick, RESULTS. But 10 years. That's enough time to build something extraordinary. That's enough time to take ordinary, daily disciplines and let them compound into something almost unrecognizable compared to where you began. See, transformation is not an event. It's not one decision or one lucky break. It's a process, it's a rhythm. It's showing up again and again, even when the payoff isn't immediate. When you give yourself 10 years, you're no longer trapped by impatience. You stop demanding that progress happen overnight. And you start committing to the process day by day. And in that space, your vision has room to breathe, room to mature, and room to come alive. I once knew a man who started with almost nothing. An entry-level job, modest pay, and little experience. But he made a commitment. He'd give 10 years of steady effort, discipline, and growth. Every year he picked 1 or 2 skills to sharpen. Every year he saved a portion of his income. Every year he added value where he worked. AT first, no one NOTICED. Year 1 looked much like year 2. But by year 5 he was in a completely different position. His confidence grew, his OPPORTUNITIS expanded, and his reputation PRCEDED By year 10, he wasn't even in the same category of life as when he started, and it wasn't luck. It was 10 years of compounded effort. That's the power of the 10-year window. You see, the days feel long, but the years feel short if you're not careful. 10 years will pass whether you plan them or not. The question is, will you arrive there by accident or by design? Because one way or another, 10 years from now you'll look back. You'll either say, I'm glad I did, or I wish I had. And that decision is made right here today, in how you think about the next 10 years. And here's what's interesting. When you think long, you act better in the short term. If you only think about today, you'll eat the wrong food, skip the exercise, waste the time because the payoff seems too small. But when you think about 10 years, suddenly those little habits carry weight. You understand that a 10-minute walk today isn't about today. It's about the thousands of 10-minute walks that build your health over a decade. That book you read isn't about what you know tonight. It's about the hundreds of books that shape your mind over a decade. The choice to save a small portion of money isn't about what's in your account this month. It's about the fortune it grows into over a decade. You see, success is nothing more than a few simple DISCIPLINES. Practiced every day, you will come to see that. Those words are the whole secret. 1 year of simple DISCIPLINES will make a difference. 5 years will make a big difference. But 10 years can completely transform the person you are, the life you live, and the OPPORTUNITIS you create. So think about it. A decade isn't just a span of time. It's an opportunity for reinvention. It's the gap between what you are and what you could become. 10 years gives you enough time to change careers, build wealth, master skills, raise a family, grow a reputation, develop character. It's more than enough time to become almost unrecognizable to the person you are today. But only if you start with a vision and commit to the process. And if 10 years is the window, then what you do daily is the foundation. Because time only transforms if it's filled with the right habits. If you waste the days, 10 years will still pass, but nothing will have changed. If you invest the days, 10 years will multiply that investment beyond anything you can imagine. If a decade of transformation sounds overwhelming, let me remind you, it never happens in a decade. It only happens in a day. MULTIPLID, by thousands of days stacked together. The decade is just the container. The real work is in the daily DISCIPLINES. Every life is built by habits. Success is not an event, it's a pattern. Failure is not an event, it's a pattern. PATTRNS are just habits, repeated long enough until they become destiny. That's why breaking a pattern is so significant. But once you break it, the question becomes, what do you replace it with? And the answer is always the same: DISCIPLINES. Small, simple DISCIPLINES practiced daily. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned was that success is nothing more than a few DISCIPLINES practiced every day, and failure is nothing more than a few ERRORS in judgment repeated every day. The problem is both feel insignificant in the moment. You skip a workout, no big deal. You spend the money instead of saving it. No big deal. You eat the junk food instead of something healthy. No big deal. But stack those little choices together over 10 years. And you wake up with a completely different life than the one you wanted. But here's the good news, it works the other way too. You save a little, you read a little. You practice a little, you improve a little. And at first it feels like nothing. No applause, no reward. No transformation overnight. But give it 10 years. And you'll be astonished at how far a little effort every day will take you. That's the difference between average and extraordinary. Small habits compounded over time. Mr. Schof taught me that the real magic is hidden in the daily routine. He used to say, don't just count the years. Make the years count. And the only way to do that is by making the days count. You don't get 10 years of transformation by accident. You earn it one discipline at a time, one day at a time. The truth is, once you set a 10-year vision and start stacking those daily disciplines, you're going to meet resistance. Not maybe, guaranteed. The moment you declare, this is who I'm becoming, life will test that declaration. Old habits will come knock. People who once cheered for you may quietly hope you fail, because your growth makes them uncomfortable. And sometimes the greatest resistance comes from within. Doubt, fear, impatience. See, transformation doesn't happen in a straight line. It's not a neat climb from here to there. It's more like a series of struggles, plataus, and brekthrughs. You'll take 2 steps forward, and then face something that tries to shove you 3 steps back. That's the cycle that's been holding you in place. And it's in those exact moments, when the cycle tightns, that most people give up. They convince themselves it's not meant for them, but the truth is, those moments are proof you're on the edge of change. Here's what Mr. Schofe used to say. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. That was a turning point for me, because wishing for an easier path make the obstacles disappear. But becoming stronger, wiser, and more disciplined, that equips you to keep moving through them. And here's something I've seen again and again. Resistance isn't your enemy. It's your trainer. Every problem, every delay, every frustration, it's there to build endurance. It's sharpening your patience, testing your commitment, and stretching your capacity. Without resistance, growth can't take root. Think about the seed in the soil. It has to push through dirt, darkness, and pressure before it ever sees the sunlight. And so do you. So when you hit the wall, and you will, don't quit. Don't fall back into the cycle that's kept you stuck for years. That wall is proof you're on the path of transformation. Push through it and you break the pattern for good. Stay the course, and you will come out the other side with a strength most people never discover. When you stay with one vision long enough, 10 years or more, something remarkable begins to happen. What once felt forced becomes natural. The habits that were once a struggle to maintain now become the very fabric of your life. The identity you once hoped for becomes the identity you live with every day. Think about it. If you spend a decade putting away a little money, a little time, and a little discipline each day, the results are staggering. 10 years of consistent saving and investing can put you in a financial position you never imagined. Possible. 10 years of steady health habits can completely change the way you move, the way you feel, the way you 10 years of NURTURING, RELATIONSHIPS. With care and patience, can create bonds that are unshakable. And 10 years of learning, reading, and growing can turn you into someone people look to for wisdom and guidance. And here's the real magic. The REWARDS don't just add up. They multiply each year, builds on the last. Each discipline REIN4CES the others. The strength you gain in one area spills into every other area of your life. By the end of 10 years, you're not just a little better off. You're transformed. Now this kind of transformation isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. On day one, it doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It comes quietly, steadily in the background of your days. Until one day, you wake up and realize you're not who you used to be. You've crossed the line from survival to stability, from stability to success, and from success to significance. That's the reward of endurance. That's what life looks like when you stay faithful to one vision for 10 years. And once you experience it, you'll never want to go back. And here's the truth: you don't need 10 visions. You don't need to scatter your attention across a dozen different pursuits. You need one. One vision you can commit to. One vision you can build around. One vision you can nurture for a decade. Because once you find it and you stay with it, your entire life bends in its direction. That's what makes it's so important to choose wisely. A decade is going to pass, whether you plan for it or not. 10 years from now you'll arrive somewhere. The only question is, will it be a place you designed with intention, or a place you stumbled into by reaction? Think about the power in this. Every day you follow your vision, you're casting votes for the future you want to live in. Each action is a vote, each discipline is a vote. Each refusal to break the pattern is a vote. And if you keep voting the same way for 10 years, the ballot box of life is going to hand you a result you cannot deny. Now, does that mean it will be easy? Not at all. The years will still bring SETBACKS, DELAYS, and DISAPPONTMNTS. But the man or woman who lives with one vision learns how to outlast the storms. They don't quit when it rains. They don't give up when the harvest takes longer than expected. They understand that the reward isn't just in the destination, but in who they've become along the way. And when you arrive, when you look back after 10 years, you'll see it clearly: the discipline, the choices, the SESONS, the CYCLES you broke. They all led here to transformation. And the best part is, once you've proven it to yourself in one area, you know you can do it again in another. That's when life really opens up.